Walter Overcourt, welcome indeed to another edition of the programme. Now later on we'll be crossing over to Manchester once again to join Martin Logan, who's out and about with the Irish community right across the UK. Well, we have a great show for you this evening because later on we will be coming to you from Mullranny Park Hotel for their annual Gourmet Gala dinner, celebrating everything that is best in local food produce. But here we are today on a beautiful afternoon at the Westport Show for the 29th annual event. Paddy Joe, another year, another horse show, the 29th year. A lot of work gone into preparing for this year's event.
A lot of work. We had, I suppose really, the fact of the matter is that we're maybe where we have it here at the centre, we're not too badly off because we have a fairly good perimeter fence, which is great. We're not on a green field site, which is very important.
Mm-hmm. So what can people look forward to at this year's event today?
Well, this year's event I think is unique insofar as we have our friend from Letterkenny with his donkeys, and he has a few ponies. It's very nice to see that, a lovely spectacle. We have, of course, the blacksmith's forge. That was a new one. And we also have a mobile farm from Limerick. So they're here as well. And of course we have the
thrashing as well.
The thrashing, yeah, the old vintage, yeah.
And Paddy Joe, the horses now, they're all different sizes, classes. How big is this for Westport?
Well, it's really, I suppose, if you look back on, and we have to go back, I suppose, to go forward, but in 1967, that's when the show was first started on the lawn of Westport House. And the idea that time behind it was to promote Westport as a tourist destination. And you can see how Westport has excelled since. Maybe they might have forgotten about the horse in lots of cases, but at the same time, I think that it's the one event that starts off the tourist season in the west of Ireland.
And is there prizes for the various competitions then?
Oh yes, we have. We're very, very lucky. We're awfully lucky. Westport is a great town, and the sponsors are fantastic. I mean, every year, in fact, this year we have even two new sponsors, which is great. We have two new sponsors again this year, and it's great to have stuck with us through good times and bad times.
And how far do people come now? Horse lovers come with their horses and ponies for this show?
Well, you could get them. Actually, we have a lady down from Kildare with us. We have people from Sligo, Galway, Leitrim, all round. Anyone that's involved in showing. But the only thing that this year now, it's not as easy to get horses out as other years because we had such a bad year. It was a very, very bad year, and a lot of animals are at least a month or 6 weeks behind.
And what's the highlight of the day then, Paddy Joe?
Well, the highlight of the day really would be, I suppose, you could say we have lots of highlights, but I suppose the opening of the show and the fact that we have the minister here to open the show, which is great. I think that would be probably really the highlight. And
you're chairman of the festival here, of the horse show here, for going back since it started, Paddy Joe. Any sign of slowing down or anything? Or?
Well, I have said on several occasions at the AGM, somebody to step in, and we haven't done it. We have a young fellow, all right, Michael Cusick. He's in as vice chairman, but whether he takes over the reins or not, I don't know. But certainly, sooner or later, he will have to, because looking at the amount of people that have passed on in the 29 years is unreal. And we're dealing with, we have about, I suppose, 10 or 12 stalwarts. That's what's running the show.
And a big turnout today as well.
Big turnout. We're very happy with the turnout today. I didn't think earlier on that it would, but it's quite good. We're happy enough with it, yeah.
And this, of course, is just one of a number of events throughout here. You have the Heritage Day coming up in your end.
That's right. We have the Heritage Day on the 13th of October. We're going to have the Horse Fair and Heritage Day. Now, the Horse Fair goes back to 1741, so that's in that calendar. And then we're hoping to kind of build around that, build a good Heritage Day. And of course, to top it off then, on the 10th of November, then we'll have our dinner dance. So we have a big programme on for a very small committee.
Yeah, and just finally, how does this compare, this horse show now, compared to other ones around the Westport? Because I know you were chairman of that as well over the years.
That's right. Well, I'm the chairman of the Western region. Well, I suppose you could say you couldn't hardly compare one against the other. They all have their own unique way in presenting a show. But I think that no matter how small or big a show is, that's very, very important to the people that organises the show, and especially the community as well. I'd like to see possibly more people maybe coming out to shows like this, but you know, you have television and what have you, and they're kind of sitting back. But you know, it's taking it up and down is not bad. Like,
it's part of our tradition.
Part of our culture, yeah, it is.
Well, look, we wish you well, Paddy Joe, and of course the big one coming up next year, the 30th anniversary. No doubt you'll still be chairman for that one, I would imagine.
I don't know about that, but I'll do my best anyway.
Michael, you've been coming to shows like this here today and other festivals throughout the region for a long number of years now with your thrashing machine.
Many, many years, about 20, 25 years and all.
And where did you get this thrashing machine?
I bought this thrasher from a man in outside Letterkenny in Donegal, County Donegal. I bought it about 7 or 8 years ago. I had an older one before that.
And are they difficult to find now?
Yeah, it's very hard to come on a good thrashing mill now. Yeah. A lot of them were laid up and left in sheds, and water and rain came on them and all that, and they rotted away.
And how does it work now? I know there's a couple of you involved in preparing for today.
You have to have oats for it, like our barley. Oats we have at the minute, and we fork up the oats there. It takes 4 or 5 men to operate it. There's a man cutting the bands, a man feeding the mill, a man taking off the bags of oats, a man forking back the straw, and a man forking up the corn up to the man on the thresher.
Wow.
It takes about 5 men to operate it, 4 or 5 men.
And what kind of reaction do you get from the public when you're thrashing?
Very, very good reaction. A lot of people never seen it working. And a lot of people seen it working and reminiscing about it and all this, the days of the thrashing mill and all this, and the day it came to the village, and how they're coming home from school and they'd hear the thrasher and killing the rats and all this.
Yeah. And how did you get interested in it?
And I was always interested in old machinery. Always interested in old machinery. We never had a thrasher at home now, but I always liked the thrasher. And I seen one for sale and I bought it, and I bought that one then in later years.
And the tractor then that we hear in the background, that's an old tractor as well?
That's an old tractor. That tractor is 1954, a Ferguson 20. I bought that tractor from a lad up the road from me back about 15 or 16 years ago. Yeah. And I done it all up, and I put a pulley on it in for driving the thrashing mill.
Wow. A lot of work involved, isn't there?
Oh, a lot of work involved. A lot of work involved. Move them about. I'm not too bad here. I only live 5 miles down the road. I can drive it here, but like we travel to shows in Tubbercurry and Belmullet and places like that. Well, I have a big trailer and a small truck, and we carry it around.
So you're looking forward to all the festivals this summer?
With the help of God this year, yes.
Well, we'll let you get...
Hopefully we get good weather.
Like today?
Like today.
Well, we look forward to seeing the thrashing now in full steam here.
Yeah, we have 4 or 5 men there.
Ready to go?
Tom McDonough, Paddy Joyce, Tommy Burke, Frank Flannelly, a few men like that. Yeah. That's interested in that type of work, and they follow us around every Sunday.
You've travelled a long way to be here at the Westport Show this weekend.
I've been around a few shows and got invited here, and sure, what better place could you be on a lovely fine summer's day. And I have the miniature Mediterranean donkeys and the miniature Shetland ponies, as you can see, all kitted out in their different attires. I have the carts, the creels, I have a plough, which if you're around later on, I'll show you doing the plough, and the novelty acts. You have our sheriff in town as well, and it's creating a lot of attraction and attention. And of course, multitasking here as well. I'm on a fundraising mission for the Donegal Donkey Sanctuary.
Thank you very much.
Minister, you're a tremendous supporter of these types of horse shows, particularly in your hometown here as well.
Well, yes, Henry, and nationally as well. My department, the Department of Road and Community Development, last year I looked at and I met the Show Society, And I had a lot of shows all around the country. Over the last number of years, we've had a lot of bad weather. We've lost a lot of shows. And these shows, we can't afford to lose them. You know, they bring great tradition, great heritage, and I don't want to see them lost. And I went back to the department and I decided last year on a one-off payment that I would make 812,000 available for shows around the country. Everybody that was affiliated to the Irish Show Society would able to claim €7,000. What happened was we gave them 5 straight away. When the show was actually held, they get 2,000 more. So I have to say it worked very well, and they needed the support because some shows have been unlucky. They've had 2 years in a row where they might have had rain and they wouldn't have the attendance that they needed, and that really puts awful pressure on their resources, puts pressures on the show. So I feel these shows, they offer a lot to Ireland, they offer a lot to our history and our culture, and I want to make sure that these shows are held in every corner of the country that they're taking place.
Your love would stand, your every wish was my command. My heart tells me that I must forget. I loved you then, sure I love you, yes. Ashes of love, cold as ice. You made the debt, but I paid the price.
Well, that's where we have to take a break. Once again, our congratulations to Paddy Joe and all involved in Drumadoo Stud, and we're looking forward to the 30th anniversary Westport Horse Show next year. Now, coming up after the break, we're heading for the beautiful Mullranny Park Hotel for a taste of the best of local food. We're coming from the stunning location of the Mullranny Park Hotel on a beautiful spring evening overlooking the bay. Absolutely gorgeous. And they're putting final preparations in place for a sellout Gourmet Greenway banquet. It's going to be something quite special. Dermot, you have a very special event happening here this evening in the Mullranny Park Hotel.
Yes, we are. We're delighted to have our 7th Gourmet Greenway showcase dinner here in the hotel this evening, starting at 7 o'clock. We have a series of events that we run throughout the year as part of the Gourmet Greenway events guide. That run from April to October, and tonight is that showcase dinner that we host here in the hotel every year. So looking forward to it.
So what's planned for the evening?
Well, the plan for the evening is that our head chef, Jamila Manawato, has created a menu using predominantly the ingredients sourced along the Great Western Greenway and from our producers that we use here in the hotel, and they're members of our Gourmet Greenway. And he's created an 8-course evening of tasting many dishes and ingredients that use a little bit of his influence from Sri Lanka, along with the ingredients that we find here in Mayo, and it gives people a real taste of Mayo on an evening like this. So we're really looking forward to it.
And of course they have a choice of selection of wines as well.
They have indeed. We have our sponsors, Forrester Wine Merchants. Ron Forrester is here with winemaker Brent Smith, and they've chosen 5 different wines to have along with the meal this evening. So they're specifically chosen for each dish, so we hope everyone enjoys it when they get here tonight.
Are you expecting many people for it?
Yeah, we're sold out tonight. We've 100 people booked for tonight, which is maximum capacity in this room where we are tonight here behind us in the restaurant. So it's everyone's very busy, and our chef and his team have been busy all week.
You've a guest speaker as well.
We've Monkin Mangan. He's a journalist and a writer, a director. He's a presenter. He has produced numerous travel shows about his travels in South Africa and Asia, and also he does an awful lot of work for TG Cahir and RTE. And he's a passionate travel writer, and he loves nothing more than Mayo. So that's why he's here tonight.
You're quite a regular visitor to County Mayo.
I hadn't been. Until about 7 years ago, I'd never been here before, and I've just been totally enchanted by the place.
What's special about it?
It's this idea of almost Montana. It's this idea you come to an area which looks wild, these big skies, these big landscapes, and I thought I had known Ireland until I arrived here. And then there's this vast expanses with relatively few people, amazing landscape, and as I say, this feeling of expanse, of huge sky that makes me feel like things are possible. I've got away.
Now, you're the guest speaker at tonight's event. What are you looking forward to?
Like, Ireland needs to change, okay? And we're changing our food, our whole food outlook. And it almost started in West Cork with Germans and English people arriving in the 1970s. And then they had a rich enough, marketplace. The markets, middle class people would come. And then it went to the Burn. And again, you had weekend visitors from Dublin. But if Ireland is to change its food entirely, it requires local people. And the only place that's being done is in West Mayo. This whole concept of the Gourmet Greenway, which yes, is focused on providing like really good quality local food to tourists, but that's not going to sustain it. It's actually all year, it's about local peoples beginning to appreciate this food. And like I come from a place, I live in the Midlands in Westmeath, where there's no artisan food culture yet, and we haven't appreciated these tastes. So for me, it's an inspiration to come to a place which is like slowly beginning to appreciate that, one, we can produce amazing food, and then customers are willing to buy it.
Yeah. So is it the future for kind of tourism in places like West Mayo?
Yeah, so like if the tourism model in the past was these big coaches and a tour guide rattling facts and figures at you, and we were happy with that through the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, no longer are people happy with that. Like, so if Ireland is to have a future in tourism, it's about intimate, authentic tourism. And who are like the people who are spearheading that? It's the people all along the west coast in Mayo. Like every county I go to, they look at that greenway with envy. And all of those new kayaking activities and blueway routes and cycling activities and coast-steering things, they're all being replicated elsewhere. It's all about us getting out into the wilds, being active, being healthy. And that was something that just did not exist when I was growing up.
Well, head chef, a very, very busy kitchen.
Yeah, it is indeed, yeah. We are getting prepared for the Gourmet Greenway tonight. Yeah. And it's going to be very busy. So as you can see, all the lads really pretty much busy in the kitchen. So.
How long does it take you and your team to prepare for an event like this? 8 courses.
Yeah, to be honest, like now we be set for tonight, but we are getting ready since a week. Actually, it's like preparing bits and bobs, like a lot of elements goes in the different dishes. So you need to do like in advance some of the dishes, like pretty much. So that's how all about. So.
What's going to be the most difficult dish to handle tonight?
It's like. Mostly, to be honest, like most of the dishes are really inventions. So it's going to be most creation dishes. For example, we have the crab custard for ambush bush. That goes with the typical like potato and squid in coral. So that is kind of my invention. Yeah, so it's pretty much challengeable, honestly. Yeah.
And it's all local food?
It is indeed, yeah. It's all local, sourced around the village and the Mayo area. So we use as much as organic and the local. That's the main concept of the food.
And is that more difficult to prepare, that type of food?
Well, it's a seasonal food, to be honest. Like it's seasonal, so we get spring lamb and kind of, I know, a bit too early, but spring lamb and a lot of fisheries, abandoned sea lettuce and seaweeds, like so this kind of stuff. And we have all the local from the small cows, and we have Newport, the black puddings, and these are all our local suppliers. So.
And what's your own particular favourite dish tonight?
Well, it's every dish is like.
Aaron, you're an enthusiastic supporter of the Gourmet Greenway.
Yeah, we're absolutely enthusiastic supporters of the Gourmet Greenway. Together with my sister, I run a family business, Rua Delicatessen and Rua Cafes in Castlebar. And we were lucky enough to be invited by Dermot and his team when they were compiling different suppliers, producers, and a few restaurants in the vicinity of the Greenway. At the time, there was no Greenway in Castlebar at the time. Now, of course, as you know, there is. But we were so delighted to be and honoured to be invited, and we've run a series of events every year in collaboration with the Greenway and the Gourmet Greenway. And this year we ran a wild garlic weekend, which is something we do every year. You know, Mayo, we love wild food. You know, we have blackberries in the autumn or wild garlic in the spring. You have beautiful gorse here growing behind us. It's fantastic, beautiful wild produce all the time. So we run this weekend, and we ran as part of the Gourmet Greenway. We did a cookery demo, and it's just one of our favourite ingredients, so it was a great honour to be invited, and lovely to be involved with the wonderful series of events that are that have been put on by the Gourmet Greenway this year.
Yeah, and it's throughout the year as well. But this evening now, it's a very special one. It's sold out, and it's an 8-course menu of all local artisan foods.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a long evening, but an enjoyable one. Sitting eating the best produce around. Wonderful Mayo produce that's been put together by the team in Mullranny Park. So we're really looking forward to that dinner and having some fantastic, beautiful Mayo seafood. We've even starting with some lovely homemade soda bread, quinoa butter, and then going forward and having some beautiful lamb and whatever else is on the menu. I actually haven't even seen it, but I know it's going to be wonderful.
It's only in the last couple of years that people have really copped on to what we have here in natural in food, and more people seem to be getting involved in it.
Well, you know, Henry, I mean, the Italians and the Spanish and the French have known this for years, and they always bang on about their local food, but I think in Ireland we've kind of taken it for granted. I mean, you see tourists coming in, we see people from abroad, Germans, French, English, coming into our shop, and they want to know about our wonderful Irish cheeses and even the butter, the buttermilk, you know, and fantastic Irish beef and lamb. But we're a bit quiet, a bit humble about it. But we need to shout about these wonderful things that we have in this county and beyond, and in the west of Ireland. It's all there, and I think it was John McKenna that said food serves as a roadmap for where you are. You know where you are, and it points you around the county, and it's what you want to have when you come somewhere. It's a real identity of a locality, and so we should celebrate this wonderful produce that's around us and be proud of it.
People seem to be enjoying your oysters and your mussels.
Yes, it's good to see that, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're fresh anyway, they're not too long out of the water.
Now, you're Kilpatrick Seafood.
Correct.
Yes.
Based in just outside Newport in Kilmina, right in the heart of Glue Bay.
Yeah. And you're one of the founding members of the Gourmet Greenway.
Yeah, I was here the first night they had a celebration like this, and I thought, I didn't think it would keep going on for, I think it's the 8th year now.
Yes, and it seems to be growing, and there seems to be a great awareness of local food.
Dermot, the manager, when he came to me first, I was laughing at it, but he said, no, he said, this is going to be big. Yeah. He said, you take my word, this is going to be a big thing. And next thing, the Wild Atlantic Way came on stream, and sure enough, it has gone from strength to strength.
Yeah. And how's business with you generally?
It's good. Once Easter comes and once the tourists start coming, you can see a big increase in the sales.
Mm-hmm. And are you exporting as well?
Yeah, we export in the winter months when things are quieter locally. Yeah.
And which is the bigger demand? The oysters?
About 50-50.
Is it?
Yeah, it's amazing. The tourists, when they come, the sales of the shellfish really increases.
And you find out, being here now tonight, seeing people enjoying your product here, does it give you a good feeling?
It does. It's very fulfilling, fulfilling, because the more you see this, the more encouraging it is to keep plugging along. And
you'll hardly try some of your own tonight, will you, oysters?
I might later on when I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, enjoy the evening anyway, Paul, and
continued
success.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.